Hello, and welcome back to Chronicle Truth Through My Eyes. I'm Abby, and this is episode 2. If you joined me for episode 1, thank you for listening and for beginning this journey with me. Today, I want to share something more personal, something that sits deep in the everyday, the way our voices are heard or sometimes not heard at all. I remember sitting in a meeting where everyone around the table seemed to know how to belong. Their voices were smooth, their accents polished, their confidence rehearsed. When I spoke, the first response I got wasn't to my point, it was to my voice. Someone leaned forward, smiling that sharp smile people use when they want to dress curls up as kindness, and said, "Sorry, could you say that again? You have such a strong accent." In that moment, the room shifted. My contribution disappeared. What mattered was not the meaning of my words or the content, but the sound of them. My voice became a spectacle, something to be managed, something that reminded others I didn't quite belong. There was another time in a lecture room when I asked a question. The lecturer paused, then repeated my question back to the room in her voice, her accent, her tone. Suddenly, people nodded as if she had said something brilliant, but I'd said those very same words a minute before. That moment cut deep. It wasn't just about my accent, it was about who is authorized to be heard. And in hospitals, my disability has shaped the way people hear me. I've spoken about my pain, my needs, only to watch professionals talk over me as though I wasn't in the room. My words became background noise while decisions were made about my body. So whether in meetings, in lecture rooms, or in medical spaces, the pattern is the same. My voice is either doubted, erased, or taken over. These are not small incidents. They are part of a pattern. Accent becomes a way of deciding who is educated. Disability becomes a way of deciding who is capable, and race threads through it all, because the so-called neutral voice is always coded white, always coded able-bodied, always coded as belonging elsewhere. This is why many of us learn to shrink our words, to rehearse before we speak, to translate ourselves before we even open our mouths. But here's the truth. What is called neutral is never neutral. It is a performance of power. I sometimes wonder, what would it sound like if all of us who have been told our voices are wrong spoke at once? What would it do to a room that thrives on our silence? What would it reveal about the fragility of their belonging? When people dismiss the way we sound, they are not just rejecting our words, they are rejecting our existence in that space. And that rejection carries weight. It is heavy, exhausting, and familiar to too many of us. This is why I write and why I am now speaking. Writing gives me time to shape my words, to resist being interrupted. It has been my survival, my way of holding on. Speaking, though, is riskier. When I speak, I know someone might laugh, might correct me, might ignore me, or even speak over me. But speaking is also a refusal to be raised, a refusal to carry other people's silence as if it were mine, a refusal to let the sound of my voice be a problem rather than a presence. So, if you have been told your voice does not fit, if you have been corrected or mocked or spoken over, I hope you hear this and hear this well. Your voice does not need permission. It does not need polishing. It does not need to fit their mold. It needs space, and it will find it. I'm learning that my accent is not a flaw. My disability is not a deficit. My voice is a record of survival, of truth, of life that refuses to be silenced. So that's today's reflection, episode 2 of Chronicle Truth Through My Eyes. Thank you for listening and for carrying this moment with me. If this spoke to you, I'd love for you to share it with someone who might need to hear it. And if you've ever had your voice silenced, know that you are not alone. Until next time, I'm Abby, and this was Chronicle Truth Through My Eyes. Thank you.